Welcome to the space where knowledge meets the action. Welcome to the Empowering Show, where we break down the barriers, helping you grow. Financial literacy, speaking truth to the power. Real conversation, changing lives by the hour. We inspire to change, here we challenge the status quo. Sharing tools for building wealth, watching your seeds grow. Empower you to take control of your future. No more living in the past. We're the authors of the sutra. Get ready, get set, let the movement begin. Because empowerment starts now. Let the light in.
Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully you can hear me again. We had some technical difficulties. We apologize, but hey, things happen. Life be life. And anyway, it's good to be here with you guys again today. Yeah, it's a great day. It's sunny outside. The weather's doing what it does, but it's cool. Yeah, so today about we're going to talk about self-sabotage. Um, Before I get started, I'm just again, welcome to the PA Empowerment Network. I know that intro was a little different, but this is Daughters of Divine Joy, and we are a show that creates a safe space for women to talk about the things we want to talk about. We are folks who are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and we want new ways of approaching things, new solutions to old problems, and just new attitudes that we're taking on to face the challenges of today. So, first and foremost, I'm Diane Butts, and I welcome you today as I do every Thursday at 5 o'clock. It's good to have you here again. So, we're going to talk about self-sabotage. You know, when you have something planned and everything's great and you're looking forward to it, and next thing you know, boom, it all explodes. And sometimes it's because of things we do ourselves, whether we don't have enough faith in what we're doing, or we have a secret fear that we're not acknowledging and not confronting properly. Um, or maybe it's that things are going well, it's going to be wonderful, and you don't know how to be comfortable with that. You know, that happens. And so I want to talk about that as I talk about a journey that I'm taking on myself. I kind of don't want to talk about it because I feel like I might sabotage it by getting too excited and then not, following through with it, or falling off. But we're going to talk about it anyway. So please call in. Well, I'd appreciate your calls. 570-664-0574. Please call in. That would be so great that we can chat about this for a while. And so anyway, um I have been I have embarked on this journey since October. And this was a journey that I came about to because of a health scare. And so, as a result of the health scare, I said, you know what, I need to do some things differently. And one of the things that I was doing that I knew was not a good thing was sitting around too much. I'm retired. And I do what I do when I want to do it. And when I don't want to do it, I don't. And sometimes, I'm still doing things that I may not want to do, but, it's because other people need something or want something. And so I do. But it was starting to be stressful. And so I had some issues with my heart. I've done, so long story short, I decided to go to find a fitness trainer so I can work out. One, I needed to do it. Two, I think my body was going to thank me for doing it. And three, I needed to try something different. Now, I went in with this Debbie Downer kind of attitude because I've been there before. I've had personal trainers. I had lots of personal trainers. I've been on diets. I've gone on diets for as long as I don't know what. I had the weight loss surgery, kept it off for 20 years, and then started putting it back slowly but surely, increment by increment. I was holding it down. I had only gained like 20, 25 pounds of the, 80 pounds that I had lost. So I was like, okay, I'm still winning this battle. But then COVID hit, and the only stores that was open was Home Depot, Lowe's, and the grocery store. So I'm home, I'm watching cooking shows because I love to cook. And I'm watching cooking shows and I'm trying to find new ideas. And next thing you know, there's 35 pounds that I did not want. So besides the joints and then blood pressure a little, kind of like wobbling, it was okay. And then now it's a little out of control. And then that setback and I ended up in the hospital. So I went into it not feeling like I was going to be the greatest success, but little by little things were happening. I'd lose a little weight, I'd gain a little weight. I'd lose a little weight, I might gain a half a pound. I'd lose a pound and a half, then I'd maybe after a couple weeks, gain another 2 pounds. So it was kind of yo-yoing, or I wasn't losing anything. Getting on the scale week after week and it's not changing. And so my trainer finally said, um, if I create a meal plan for you, would you at least try to follow it? And I was like, okay, because now it's January, going towards the end of January, and nothing's happened. And I mean, I'm seeing some difference in my clothes, but it's not the kind of difference that I felt I should have seen from October to January. So anyway, so here we are. I get this meal plan and I'm like, oh God. And I'm already, again, I'm back in Debbie Downer line because I just know it's not going to work. She said, just give me 2 weeks. At the end of 2 weeks, I said, I think I can do this a little bit longer. I'm going to stay on this plan a little bit longer. Low carbs, low fats, protein, high protein. Well, the weight started coming off. And it seemed like as soon as I'm at that 10-pound mark, I gained a pound. And I'm like, "Oh, why would I do that?" And, I fight a battle in my home because it's everybody has a sweet tooth and we're a big snacking home. There's a corner on the counter and a corner in the counter in the rear of the kitchen that has piles of stuff. I get a cute little basket and I'm like, okay, if I have a small basket, it's going, no, now the basket's stacked up to there and stuff is running over and it's starting to move down the counter. And then I push it back and I'm fighting this counter, but it's a losing battle. So I just decided, you know what, I'm not even gonna worry about that and what they do in this household. But I notice there are things that I do, like I'll have breakfast, have a good breakfast that'll keep me full to like 1 or 2 o'clock, usually. But I still should eat something to keep my energy level up, to keep the caloric intake at a healthy spot. But I don't do it. And then when I don't do it, that's when I find myself wanting an extra cup of coffee and hitting Dunkin' Donuts and, oh, just give me a glazed donut to go with that. Or, sliding through um I hate to say it, sliding through a fast food window and counterproductive to the low carbs, low fat thing and the sodium intake, but I do it anyway. And so I started thinking, you know what? And I heard myself talking one day. Like, I don't know how many of you just talking, you're not listening to what you're saying. I think people do that more than they know they do that because I hear people talking sometime and I'm just like, they did not hear what just came out of their mouth. And if they did, they wouldn't have said it or they'd be apologizing. But anyway, so I said to myself, oh my God, I love whatever it was, food it was. And a little voice in my head said, do you love it more than you love you? I had to side eye myself. I was like, "Oh, snap. No, you didn't go there." And I felt that. I really felt that. And I was like, why am I self-sabotaging my progress? I am right where I want to be. Y'all, I started out in a size 20. I'm in a 16 and I'm slowly shedding this stuff off. And I'm not even mad at how slow it's not going slowly. I'm not even mad at the time that it's taking because I'm looking at this journey not as a diet. It's not a diet. It's a way of eating. It's a way for me to eat. And the thing that I'm proud about, she gave me this, I'm looking like 1,000 calories a day, like 1,508 calories, 1,058 calories. That's was on the sheet. And she didn't give me this whole thing every day you eat this. She just gave me breakfast, lunch, dinner, and counted out the proteins. She said just eat lean protein, nothing fried. Stay away from your fruits right now. Stay away from fruits. Stay away from sweets. Just gave me in some green vegetables. Green leafy vegetables were best. We talked about the kind of salads to put in them. I stay away from carrots. I stay away from squash. From right now, sweet potatoes, because this was a reset diet. But it's for me, it's not just resetting. Well, it is resetting, but hold on. Let me just finish my one thought because I'm getting excited about this. I guess I was supposed to talk about it. Um, I found myself doing it a little longer because I was seeing that, you know what? I'm consuming more than 1,000 calories, but I'm real careful about what it is. I'm reading labels now. Um, and even though I may want spaghetti or some kind of pasta, I'm like, I don't think I want to put all them carbs in my body right now because I'm working too hard, especially when it's my day off. I work out Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I found myself exercising at home, doing something on the floor or something that's weight bearing type of exercises that I can burn up some extra calories or tighten up or tone up. Um, Looking how to enhance my workout with some other things like maybe yoga and what have you. But it's a mindset switch for me. And so I had to look at the whole self-sabotaging thing. And I'm glad that my spirit spoke to me and questioned my choice about saying how much I love X, Y, and Z food. And it didn't matter the food I said at the time. It mattered that I said it. And I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. When I first really started forming my faith in a different way, I I was picked up this Christian weight loss book. And the first sentence of the first chapter in the very first paragraph said, seek comfort in Christ, not in food. And I looked at that sentence for the longest time and I said, well, there's the book. And I closed it because I said, until I can do that, which I knew I wasn't at the time, there's no need in reading the rest of the book. And so I closed the book. I'm an emotional eater. I will admit that. If I get angry, I'm eating. If I'm anxious, I'm eating. If I get nervous, I'm eating. And so I had to find another way of responding to those feelings. And so even when I am not true to the calorie intake that she gave me, and she said, don't look at that. I know that this is not doable, but I also know there will be things that you eat that you're not really counting or you're not thinking about how they add on calories, fats, or carbs. And that's true because there are carbs in a lot of things that you wouldn't think. And I didn't realize that until I was working at a group home and I had a kid who was diabetic. type 1 diabetic. And so, yeah, we had to count carbs for him. And because his diabetes wasn't really controlled well. He was a teenager with issues. So anyway, I learned more about carbs than I ever wanted to know. And so now I'm using this information, I'm making choices, I'm reading things. I was on the journey for because she said turkey bacon, so I'm looking for turkey bacon. I don't know, y'all, that stuff they sell in the store, I can't stomach, so I stopped at a butcher in I think that's Stroudsburg, and they had smoked turkey bacon. I said, "Give me a pound." It was good. So I said, "Okay, I can eat that now, but I'm only eating 1 slice, not 2 slices, because I had it cut a little thick and, it was too good. It was too good to eat 2 pieces. I think it was too many calories and too many of whatever else was in there. The protein is cool, but I supplement my protein other ways. But anyway, even if I wasn't being 100% um dedicated to that particular eating plan, I was still losing weight. So I said to her, I don't look at this as a detox thing. I will add in some other things as I go along because I do love sweet potatoes. I enjoy sweet potatoes. It's hard. Then learning something new is hard. I do enjoy sweet potatoes and they're good in fiber, even though they have carbs. And so I'm going to work those into my diet, into my eating. I love to put sweet potato in soup if I make soup. Wintertime, I'm a big soup eater. I also like to roast them, and just maybe sprinkle a little, if I can take a tablespoon of brown sugar and, sprinkle that on there and mix it up, roast it, I'm happy. Um, or sometimes just the sweetness. I made a hash with, did something go off? Yeah, I made a hash with, sweet potatoes, and that was good and, turkey. So I'm learning how to do this thing. I made stuffed chicken breast today, and, I actually took chicken breast on the bone and took it off the bone, split it, stuffed it with a little light cream. It wasn't cream cheese, Boursin cheese, just a little bit, not much, not even less than a quarter cup, and mixed that with peppers and spinach and stuffed it. And so I'm looking forward to that today. It's a journey. It is a journey, but self-sabotage will have you like when I go out with friends, if I see there's roasted potatoes on my plate and there's a piece of bread, I decide which one you're gonna eat, girl. You can't have both, but you can eat a little bit of one of those things and still lose weight. And so those are the choices I had to make. But I think if I didn't stop and challenge myself with that thought, do you love that more than you love you? I would have been in the same place, up and down and up and down. And right now my journey is good. 2 dress sizes. So your girl was out this was it this past Saturday? Yes, it was this past Saturday. Went to a luncheon with my sorority, and I tell you, I felt absolutely positively fabulous. I felt good in a form-fitting dress, and I just felt like, you know what? I'm back to my old self. And it was good. My husband's complimenting me, so that's all good. That's part of the journey. But the self-sabotage part, and I'm going to tell you, when I first walked into Storm Fitness, where I go and train, right in East Stroudsburg, when I first walked in there, I felt like I'm here to strengthen. I just want to get my health up. If I can lose 10 pounds, that's fine. I'm not trying to do anything. And the more Dawn talked to me about, trying to get myself, trying to, have an attitude and open up my mind and what I can do and what I can't do. Y'all, I'm telling you, when she put that little deadlift thing there, and I was like, I don't know if I can do that. And she said, yes, you can. And I'm telling you, I started believing in myself. And I said, you know what? when are we going to move the weights up? She said, we're doing that today. And I said, we're going to 75 and 85. She said, we're going to try 75 first. I said, okay. And I looked at that bad boy. And so the next time, the next rep, she said, you want to try the last rep. She said, you want to try 85? I said, yeah, let's do it. And I was good. She said, don't just do what you can. You don't have to do all 10 reps. Just do what you can. Well, I was able to do 9. The only reason why I stopped at 9 because I noticed my form shifted. I kind of hesitated on the come up. So, which was fine. I was glad to do that. But I do find that I'm challenging myself now, and it's okay. I think that idea of, oh, it's not going to happen for you. This can't happen. You know how many years you've been trying this, and that little voice in your head that is trying to make you believe that you can't achieve this thing you set out to do. That's the sabotage. Trying to quiet that noise is the hardest thing in the world. And I mean, that noise was put there a long time ago. I remember the first time I went on a diet, I think I was 8 years old. My mother took me to Weight Watchers. And Weight Watchers was horrible back then. They used to call out your weight, how much you weigh. And there was this lady, Sheila, and we would go to B'nai B'rith, the temple, the Jewish temple, and Sheila go, oh my God, you gained weight. What? 5 pounds? What are you eating? I mean, it was that kind of thing. She was over the top. I thought she was funny most times until she was talking about me. And it was just embarrassing. And I felt like a failure. And that feeling would return over and over and over if I did something and wasn't successful at, especially trying to lose weight. And so I have decided, and I know everybody's doing injections, and you got them cute little pills you could take now. You don't have to shoot yourself up, and people are losing their weight. And I said, I'm not doing another thing. I don't want no magic. I want to know how to do this. I want to know how to get this off and keep it off. And so there I am on my journey. But the reframing that you have to do, like I caught myself when I said, I love sweet potatoes. No, I don't love sweet potatoes. I enjoy them. But loving, that's a little bit too much. I want to eat to live, and I want to eat for my health. I don't want to eat for my emotional contentment. And so that's where the reframing comes in. We have got to talk to ourselves in a different way if we're going to change anything about our lives. Anything about even the people in your life. Because you know what? I have realized that if there are people who are always going to be negative, you got to go. I can't have you in my life. If you always say, oh, you can eat that, go ahead and eat that. Because some people want to see you the same way you are. Isn't that something? Call in. I want to hear from you. 570-664-0574. I'd love to talk to you. What do you have going on in your life that you're self-sabotaging? What goal is it that seems so insurmountable that you cannot climb over that mountain? The word tells us to speak to your mountains and tell them to move. And that if you tell your mountain to move, it will move. And I'm here to tell you at age 67, this mountain is moving, y'all. This mountain is moving. And I'm glad it's moving because what it does is open up for other things. This was my white whale. Trying to get control of my body, trying to get control of my eating, loving myself to the point where I don't see not having the things that I'm used to eating and enjoying and all of this. I don't see it as some kind of sentence or that I'm bound up and it's not a restriction. It is actually a freedom. It's actually a freedom. The other day I was with my sister-in-law and I was like, you know what I'd like to have? Because it was nice out. It was on a day like this, but it was one of those warm days. I said, you know what I want? She said, what? I want butter pecan ice cream and I want it from Lewis's. I said, I wonder if they're open. And we drove past. and it was closed. It hadn't opened up yet. So I said, this was like a weekday, So this was last week, and they opened. And so, last week we had those like 70, 80 degree days, and so they opened up Saturday. But later on that week, I took her up to Tobyhanna, and on our way back, she was saying, oh, there's a couple places up here, some really good ice cream. And so I was like, yeah, yeah, okay. And then she said, well, here's one right here. And I said, you know what? I made a choice already. I said, the moment's passed on the ice cream. I said, I did want it. It was nice. It was warm. And it just felt right at the moment. And I said, and I just wanted a small kid's cup, just a small scoop in a kid's cup. I don't need a lot. I'm going to eat it until I'm satiated, and meaning until that taste has been satisfied, and the rest can go in the garbage. And I know people are like, why are you wasting food? Because I'm full. Because I'm full. That's the answer. I've had it. I don't want it anymore. And so I said, that's not the choice I'm making today. I want a glass of wine, so I'm not going to have the butter pecan ice cream. I'm not going to have the ice cream. That moment's gone. I wanted it last week. It's gone. I wanted it, earlier in the week. The moment's gone. I don't want it. And I was pretty glad I did that. So I came home, had my glass of wine. I said, okay, it's less calories anyway and no fats. And so I'm understanding that I can do that. I can keep walking past the candy place. Oh, that's really good candy. But I keep going past that because I know that it's counterproductive to what I'm trying to do. Getting on the scale furiously every day. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, you do that when you know you're not doing what you're supposed to do. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, so I don't need to look at it. And even when I eat something that's out of the way, it's one time. I don't bring plates home. If I go out to eat, whatever's not eaten, gone. Okay? So anyway, like and subscribe. This is a PA Network. I just want to remind you guys that, you're welcome. And Monday through Friday, I believe there is programming for you. Please, please, please like and subscribe, share with your friends, let them know that we are here. So going on a little bit longer, I don't know if we're going to cut for a break yet, but let me check. In about 4 minutes. So I know in the past, and I'm going to talk about in the past, there have been things that I wanted to do, and I would talk myself out of doing it, and I talked myself out of doing it because I was afraid. I'm entering into new terrain. Don't know how I'm going to do. Am I going to fail? Is it going to work out? Who's going to laugh at me? What am I going to look like? Suppose this happens. So you have every excuse in the world of not doing something instead of looking the reasons why you should do it. And so now that I've tackled this white whale, now that I've tackled this, I'm starting to look at other things. My husband said to me, what are you doing about school? You should go back to school. Okay. And today I'm doing my application today. Okay. So I'm doing that. I'm not worried about what's going to happen. How is it going to work out? I'm going to trust God for the rest. Okay. So I thank y'all for watching the show today. We're going to cut for a break right about now.
A doctor's calling. A company's mission. United for a greater good. When Edmark International, the pioneers of wellness, joined forces with Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire, naturopath, the world gained a new weapon in the fight for true health. Co-created, science-backed, nature-powered. This isn't just a product. This is a movement. Born from decades of groundbreaking research, naturopathic mastery, and Edmark's relentless innovation,
The body wants to heal itself, and we have just given it the ultimate toolkit.
a detox unlike any other, a partnership unlike any other. The future of health starts now.
Amen, amen, amen. Yes, the future of health starts now. And so I want to continue talking about this. Yes, it's funny, we self-sabotage a lot out of fear or anxiety. But when you need to quiet down the noise, I want to give you a little technique you can try. For every reason that you're telling yourself not to do something, come up with 3 counter reasons for each thing. Well, I don't really have the money. How much will I lose if I invest in myself? Because sometimes we don't want to spend the money because we think we don't have it. And if you say you don't have it, you won't spend it. But if you don't spend it, what are you really losing? Because the money that you're spending is an investment in yourself. I know when I tell people how much I'm spending for personal training, oh my God, really? That's way too much. Well, it's too much for you, but it's right for me. Because how much am I going to spend in copays or doctor fees, running back and forth to the PT for my knees, the arthritis in my knees, sciatica and things like that? It costs money. It's prescriptions. You're going to spend the money one way or the other. You can spend it preventing the thing, or you can spend it investing in yourself, growing yourself, changing yourself, and transforming yourself. The thing, well, I don't really have any time. Take your calendar and look at it. What time can I carve out? What can I stop doing so that I have the time to do to this one thing? We'll say, well, I have so much on my plate right now. We'll remove some things, period. I'm too stressed out. You need a Sabbath. Start thinking, take some time, take a weekend, spend some time, look at your life. What is it that's making you happy? Write it down. What is it that you wish would take a holiday or get out of your life? Who do you need to block? What do you need to set boundaries around? And then look at your calendar and say, can I really do this? Or maybe the question is, do you want to do this? How is it going to change your life if you do this? What fears do you have around it? You have to examine all of those things to find out why you are doing the opposite of what you said you wanted to do in the first place. Sis, I'm telling you, we want to look externally for changes that we have the ability to do right here, right inside of you. It's called agency. It's called the ability to make transformative changes in your life. It's the power that you have to do the things you need to do. That change doesn't need to come from anywhere else. It doesn't need to come from some book. Okay, you can get inspired by books. You can get permission from other places sometimes if you don't give yourself permission. You could read something that goes, ooh, because God speaks through all kinds of things. And maybe you need to have a divine interaction with a piece of literature or a movie or maybe a conversation with someone. That's all right. Get what you need, but get it. And realize when you have negative self-talk going on in your and correct it right in the moment, just like I did. I don't love sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes ain't never did nothing for me but taste good on my tongue, but that's not enough to say I love them. I enjoy eating them. That is the honest to God truth. I don't have to love it. Because there's some things I'm eating right now I don't enjoy all the time. Doggone it, I get tired of zucchini. But when I wanted some pasta, I made some, what they call it, zoodles, the zucchini noodles, and made a pasta sauce and ate that bad boy like I was sitting there eating pasta. Put a little Parmesan cheese on it and called it a day. And lost my weight on the scale that week. So it worked for me. And I'm finding that I'm starting to enjoy it. So when you give yourself permission to reframe the way you think, use different words around what it is that you're struggling with, you'll find that you'll open up some doors inside of you. And that's why I got a phone call today and I said, you know what? I thought about it and I was sharing with the lady why I was hesitant about going back to school. And I said, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and apply. All this going back and forth, well, this might happen and that might happen. I said, that's just self-talk that I need to get rid of. I'm going to fill out the application. I'm going to send it in. I'm going to do all the references I need. I'm going to write the whatever essay that I needed to write and stop hemming and hawing about that. And oh, I don't want to write. I hate to write. I don't hate to write. I sit here and write all the time. I'm going to do the thing I've said I wanted to do because this is what I realized today. Thank you for the applause. This is what I realized today. If I don't do it now, the time is going to pass. This is something I can finish in 3 to 4 years. If I don't do it now, I may not be able to get into this particular cohort of this particular program for another 1.5 years, 2 years. And now I'm set back 2 years. So I'm like, you know what? My goal was to have this finished before I'm 72, not wait and start it when I'm 72. So give me a call because I know y'all doing the same thing that I'm sitting here confessing to you that I do. Okay, let's talk about it. Call me at 570-664-0574. Okay, and so yeah, I'm doing this thing. I am going to do it. And I said, you know what? I'm just acting like, oh my God, I might get, I may not get in. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But I'm trying. And that's the thing. I need to try. I need to try. And that's the success. And I have to tell myself the success was in trying. Just like when I started on this journey to get a little fit, I didn't set a goal to be 2 dress sizes. I just said, I'm going to take it one day at a time and see what happens. And now I see what happens. And now that I see what happens, now that there are some results, I'm like, oh, okay. This is going to be hot girl summer. Now, I don't know what that looks like at age 67, but it's going to be hot girl summer. All right. It's just, I feel different. I feel good. I feel good. And so I want you all to think about what is it that you've been self-sabotaging? What is it? Is it moving to another job? Well, I've been here so long. Ain't no sense in me moving now. I might get a promotion and leave the doggone job. If it's not serving you, if you're having advanced, if they got you training the new supervisors coming in, don't sit there and take that. Look for another job. It's okay. You can do that. You can start over in a new place. You don't have to sit there and take crap from people. Is it a new relationship, but you don't want to leave it because you don't want to be alone? If you've been thinking about leaving and you've been trying to make it work, maybe alone is better than being with somebody who ain't really with you. What is it that you've been self-sabotaging because you talk yourself out of it? You don't think you deserve what's on the other side, or you just plain scared, afraid of what the change is going to be, afraid of what you're going to leave behind. Yes, trying is the most important step in anything we aim to do. I agree. Thank you, Jheezy41. Thank you so much for that comment. Yes, we have to try. And sometimes, even like when I made the first step, I wasn't thinking about, being in nothing than this size or that size. I just wanted my knees to stop hurting. I wanted to regulate my heart. I wanted to extend my time on earth. I can ask the Lord to give me 90 years, but if I'm going to sit around here eating chips and all kinds of crap from fast food restaurants, and I ain't, shout out to the people who go to fast food and find something healthy there to eat. But for me, it's not working. So instead of doing that, I just made a move. Feeling like I wasn't going to do well, feeling like I was going to be a failure, feeling like I was too old, but I made the move anyway. And I kept going back. Not only did I go back, I started out 2 days a week. And then pumped it up to 3. And then started doing things at home. You see what I mean? I am going to where I never thought I would go. Because I don't like working out. I didn't like working out. Let me stop. See how this reframing thing goes? You have to constantly be aware of what's coming out your mouth. Because sometimes the enemy that we have to fight is not outside of us. It's the one in here. And I started out telling y'all how I was on these diets at age 8. What I learned, and I got this from family, and I love my family, but they had this thing about being skinny. None of these women was skinny in my family, but they all talked about it. I mean, they had been at one time, got married, life happened, you're working, you're raising kids, and so you gain weight. You gain weight. We all gain weight every now and then. Everybody's not what they used to be. But they had this desire to be skinny and would do anything to that end. Any kind of fad diet, any kind of pill, any kind of injection, whatever, they would do it. Buying these packaged meals and going to this place, going to that place, drinking this shake, that shake. And so that's how I was raised. But when I was very little, I never heard the word fat without ugly. You know how damaging that is to a kid? Not even that they would say that I was fat and ugly, but would talk about other people and would talk about being fat as ugly. And so I kind of grew up thinking I was fat and ugly. Would shrink. I was not that girl that was all social. I'm kind of introvert anyway. You probably can't tell, but I am. Being on this camera is the hardest thing in the world I do. But I'm here. Again, telling myself, you can do this. You must do this. You are called to do this. You have to do this. And so here I am. But just hearing that just made me shrink. It made me shrink back in social situations. It made me shrink back when, all the guys crowd around and the girls are being cute in their little outfits. I'd like go to the back. Even now, the town that I grew up in, I have to tell people who I am by mentioning my friends. Oh yeah, you the girl. Okay, the girl with the glasses. You be with Marcy all the time. Yes, the fat girl. But it's all right. Because I have learned, starting, it took a long time, but I have learned how beautiful I am, how attractive I am. I have learned to feel sexy. It's not defined by somebody else, it's defined by me right here and right here. And so once I got there, then I was empowered to do other things like start this health journey. And I swear, okay, having that heart palpitations and feeling like I was having a heart attack, that was the beginning of it. And I was like, nope, got to get this straight. But there's been other achievements along the way, other things, battles that I fought, and had to change the way I looked at things, had to change the way I spoke about things, had to make a lot of changes in order to do what I do and do it successfully. And it worked. And so I'm sharing this with you about this current journey because first of all, I don't think you're too old for anything. As long as you got breath in your body, movement in your feet, you can get up by yourself. You can still go out and drive. You can still talk. You still have your right mind. I don't care if you're in a wheelchair and can't get out every day by yourself. There's something you can do. We have Zoom now. We have technology. There are things we can do. We can work. We can share. We can chronicle our journeys on YouTube if you want. But we all have something to give and to offer. We all have a gift inside of us. And so we should not shrink for anyone. And I'm getting real comfortable with that. I am comfortable, not getting comfortable. I am comfortable. And that's why I said, you know what? Yes, I'm going to do the darn thing. I'm putting in the application. I'm going to do my best to get in. And I believe I'm going to get in. I believe I'm going to get in because I believe this is my time. And I said to myself today, yeah, you're going to do this. You're going to achieve this milestone that you have been looking at and dreaming about all your life. You're going to do this. I promised my father there would be a doctor in the family. I said, I'm going to be the first Dr. Anderson. And he was like, all right, because my father went to 6th grade. He didn't graduate elementary school. I don't think any of his siblings did. And certainly not my grandmother's siblings. They worked. And so I want to know, Ubuntu, because I am because we are. And that's for the God's honest truth. I was listening to someone say, when you don't remember your ancestors, you have not a clue where you're going or what you're doing. Because you're out there by yourself. We are upheld by community, whether they're the ones that are alive or the ones that have gone on. But it's those people who have taught them. My ancestors make me know that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I believe that. I hold on to it. But I also know when I'm self-sabotaging. I have learned to sit with myself, to be introspective. And we all need to be introspective. And I heard say, everybody ain't wrong but you. I had to give up. Oh God, I can't remember this woman's name. However, she said her grandmother would say, everybody's not wrong but you. So sometimes when everybody's telling you a thing about yourself, you need to go sit with that. You need to reflect on that. You need to wrestle with that because you need to accept that. And once you accept it, you can decide if you're going to keep it or if you're going to change it. Because some things about us work for us. Some things about us work for us. Some people might see it as a negative, but it may work for you. As a social worker, one of our ethics says the client has the right to self-determination. I can be sitting there looking at you. I can see you in codependent relationships. I can talk about how to get out of them. But if that's what you want, and you are stuck in that thing because it's feeding you in some kind of way, I'm going to help you accept it, because you obviously are getting something out of it. And if you truly don't want to accept it, then we need to figure out what you're getting out of it so you can stop that and find something else to do. Find another way to get that need met. And there's always a number of ways to get your need met. I was getting mine done through food. I don't have to do that. But I did find this out. I have to speak a little bit more. I have to say what's on my mind. I can't hold things in, because that's where the anxiety comes from, that I'm not expressing myself. The anxiety comes from doing things I don't really want to do, but I feel an obligation to do it to help this person. I have to say no when everybody else wants me to say yes. I have to protect my peace when people start trying to make the consequences of their decisions my business and my responsibility to fix. I have to say no. I have to let people know when my feelings have been hurt or those boundaries have been breached. I have to let people know that it's not all right. And I'm not feeling you right now, no matter who you are. Because if you love me, you can sit with the discomfort of me expressing myself honestly to you. And if you don't love me, then why am I holding back? I need to just tell you how it is. Now, I do it in a very nice way. I have learned that. I've learned to be very graceful. I've learned to be very patient. I have learned to listen. My daughter says I don't listen, but I do. I hear it. And the question I always ask her, when you say that, how do you think I'm going to, how do you expect me to respond? Because I think the response that I'm giving you is not what you thought it should be. And that's what you're not sitting with. It's not the fact that I'm not listening. I hear what you're saying. I don't agree with it, and I think it's a bunch of bull. And so we need to be able to sit comfortably with people, especially the people we love and that we want to be around, and be able to express ourselves, to get them things out of us that we need to get out, to be able to hold on to what we need to hold on, to be able to make goals and accomplish them, because we're not afraid. We have quieted those voices. We have countered those voices by reframing the way we look at a thing. And we're also speaking to those things that seem insurmountable and cutting them down and cutting them off and making them the small little pebbles that they are. You can talk as a victim or you can talk as a victor. The choice is yours. And I find when you choose to be victorious, when you look for victories instead of being afraid of failures, focusing on failures, then that does something to how you set about going towards the task that you need to complete. I'm doing
Hey,
a
how
lot
you
of
doing, Diane?
yeah,
How
good,
you
good.
feeling,
How
young
are
lady?
you?
Yeah,
I'm
that was
good.
me. I was ringing the doorbell. You didn't want to let me in. I just,
Oh, I didn't hear.
so
I'm
I figured I'd ring
sorry.
it one more time for you. How you doing this evening, young lady?
I'm good.
I
I'm
was
good.
listening
I'm
to
just
you.
talking,
So
talking, talking. What does that
yeah,
doorbell
I
sound
hear
like
you.
to
It's all
you?
good. You go on and talk like you talk. I appreciate it. I just want to ask you some questions about during this particular climate that we live in right now. It's kind of
Mhm.
difficult for us to feel the joy that we like to feel. We just had a whole bunch of children who were mutilated and killed in a school by bombs from this country, and the things that's going on in this country. How do we deal in this climate? How do we relax in this climate?
By shutting off the noise. I I have times where, cause well, you and I know each other, and you know that I love MSNBC. I'm a news junkie. I like politics, but I've cut off a lot of. I limit how much I take in. Um, I'll get up in the morning and turn on Morning Joe. They get an hour of my time. They don't get they're on for 4 hours. They don't get 4 hours out of me. I can't do that for 4 hours. And if you watch a show like that, it's not 4 hours worth of programming. It's like an hour and a half, and they keep repeating it in different ways. So I limit that. I don't watch it all day. I don't keep it on all day. I find other things to do. There's sometimes when I cut off all media because it's too much to take in. I will get up in the morning and pray about certain things, especially when I'm disturbed by them, because killing children, yeah, that ain't, and especially in my name, United States, and I love to travel. Now I'm embarrassed. I feel like I have to go places and apologize. And so understanding that for African Americans, especially who have grown up in this country, who have were our ancestors were brought here. We haven't had a choice to be anywhere else. Well, I'm saying haven't had a choice, didn't know we had a choice to be somewhere else. And so we find ourselves here, but we've been here struggling with all kinds of negative forces, from racism to sexism to intersectionality of all kinds of nature, or all kinds of stuff going on. But yet we have joy. For me, it's through my faith. And even that is going through a transformation, Kendall. And I tell you, it's going through a transformation because there's some things about the faith that are not liberating. They keep us bound. And so I've had to look at those things and say, I reject this because you're not going to bound me up. I've been freed by the understanding, the love and knowledge of my faith. And so when you start telling me what I can't do and what I can do, and this person's that, I don't want you, keep your Jesus. If that's how you see Jesus, you keep that over there, and I'm going to go on with mine. Because if I have to be accountable, if there's such a thing as being accountable at the end of your life, then I'm going to be accountable for my thinking, not what somebody else is telling me I need to think. And so we hold on to our joy because joy is ours. That is the gift we have from God. But you have to nurture that gift. You have to give it. You have to get away from the world because the world's trying to destroy you. You have to quiet that noise in order to sit in peace. I think I explained this last. I don't know whether it was.
Yeah, my wife. She utilizes her yoga for that. She does she'll go and sit back and meditate and kind of shut off the world. Sometimes some things are hard to shut off. It's just too many things going on, and they eat at you. And you so if you don't do something about it or say something about it, like me, if I don't say something about it, sometimes I feel like I'm going to explode. But I would rather deal with things compatibly than combatively. You see, so I look for some sort of peace somewhere along the line, somewhere. But it's getting more and more difficult every day. I can just tell you that.
And we need to heal. We have to heal. We have to heal.
Yeah, especially when we're living in a country, we don't know what's going to happen from day to day. We don't know. I mean, we got a madman up at the top. We got a king that think he has on clothes, but he's naked, and everybody else is telling him that he has clothes on. That's what we're dealing with here.
And it's really sad. It's really sad.
Yeah, and
it's really sad.
We got the domino effect because you go down to the grocery store, you see it there. You go to the gas station, you see it there. You have all these different people that are telling you lies on one end and telling you something else on another. Too much propaganda going on. It's just this is very difficult to relieve yourself and shut out the noise. And it's for me.
You do see it everywhere. But I'm going to tell you, I think the greatest thing is community.
This is my escape. You see, this is my escape. I read.
And that's a good
books.
escape. But also, being in community with people is also a good thing, because that's where we get together and you laugh with folks and have a good time, whatever that good time entails. Maybe it's dancing to music and or playing cards or something and talking smack while you're in the spades game or bid whist or something like that. I love that. And so we need to get together and do things within ourselves. The other thing that I have in looking at community, what can we do to help ourselves? We need to form what have I been thinking about doing? Getting a bunch of kids, and even if I like from my neighborhood, and even if it's just in my basement, bringing them in there to talk, to teach them about their history, because we know they're not learning it in school. We know that. So we have to teach it to them so they can love themselves, because you need to understand what beauty you came from in order for you to understand what beauty you hold. And we hold
And
it.
and you need us to teach us, because I try to explain to people on a regular basis. You can't expect other people to teach your children the things that they should know about themselves.
Nope.
These are things that are passed down from generation to generation.
Mhm.
So it's up to us, the elders.
And
Like you
it's
said,
up
you
to
want to get
us.
together. I listen to my ancestors. I get into the spiritual, and I listen to my ancestors. I guess that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. We're
Yeah.
trying to build and bring us together more as a community, but it's a literacy problem. You got to
Yeah.
get the kids, or you got to be able to go where they are to get them the
Right.
message. Right now, they're
You're right.
living on their cell
Right.
phone. They're living on the
They're
social
living on
media.
their
So
phones. They're living on social
right,
media.
right. So how do you
And I, like I,
how do you engage with someone like that to say, hey, pick up a book, let's read?
and you know what? And we may have to find a way to do it on social media. We may have to build an app to do it. We may have to, there's all kinds of ways that people, especially young people, are finding to communicate with each other in helpful ways. I told you my granddaughter, who is 7 years old, want to start a podcast about how families need to speak to each other, just because she sees her friends coming to school upset because their family, they got yelled at in the morning, or this is happening and that's happening in their family, and they just feel hurt by the people that love them. And so
And
she
for
wants
us,
to be
that's
able
rinse and repeat.
to.
That's rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. We keep going through that dysfunctional deal. Yeah, we got to get away
Yeah.
from that eventually.
And
All right, our
a lot
time
of
is
that
up
is
here.
healing. So yes,
All
our
right, we're
time
kind
is
of way
up. It's
past our
over the
time
hour.
here. Yeah.
You did
Yeah, I
that.
just wanted to thank everyone. Yeah, hey, look, I think I had a couple of questions that I wanted to ask you, and I didn't want to do it off the
Okay.
air. So maybe someone
Yeah.
else had the same question to ask you that tuned in, and
Amen.
they didn't
And
ask
they
it.
didn't call.
Like the
Y'all need to call.
like the young lady that left you they left you the comment. I mean,
Yes,
look,
I love
everybody can
that.
call in. Look, we put it out there. If you like to give us a call, please pick up your phone and give us a call at 507
Nobody has to know your
64
name. Just put whatever name. Call me. Better fake name.
0574. Believe me, the calls are anonymous. You don't have to worry about it. You can call in. You can ask her a question, or when any one of the shows that are on, you can give us a call and ask the questions. The next show I imagine would be coming on is going to be on Monday, and that would be Mental
Okay.
Health Monday. We generally have a young man that would come in. He has a show called Sharing Your Light. Unfortunately, he has some mishaps. He's not able to make it this evening. So next week he'll be on next week, and we'll get to enjoy the things that he have to say. So listen, my name is Kendall Stevenson. I am the producer of the PA Empowerment Network, and Diane Butts, she is the host of a beautiful show that brings people together, that she gets an opportunity to speak to, especially to young ladies. It's not just for young ladies, young men.
No, it's
You
not.
might want to tune in. You might want to listen to what the women have to say. Back in El Kimalan, which is the original name of Africa, the Garden of Eden, we actually listened to our women. It was all good. We listened to our elders. It was all good.
Yes.
Women
It was
led
all
us, and it was all good. So don't get into that European mindset of I'm the man, Tarzan. Okay. We
Better
need to
go
leave
sit
that
down
alone
somewhere
and
with
learn
that
how to
mess.
become.
We form a community. We live in a
Right, and become
community.
one
We
as
take care
one,
of
as
each other,
one
and
family,
we listen to
one
one
unit.
another because we have something to
Right,
grow and learn from each other. And so
right.
that's what we do. And
Yep.
but anyways, you guys, love you. Have a beautiful weekend. Get out there and love somebody and learn. It's about speaking your truth, living your truth, and being who you were destined to be. Amen. See you later. Love you
Amen.
guys.
Ashe.
Okay. Take